Hi there, my name's Anthea and I lead River Church in Marlow, and it's my pleasure to bring you this week's Going Deeper video, in which we explore in a little bit more depth something that we were studying on our Sunday. And this Sunday I was speaking on the story in John 9 of the healing of the man born blind. It's an unprecedented miracle in which Jesus once again shows himself to be God, wholly divine and wholly human, in which he performs this amazing sign of redemptive restoration, not just a healing, but the creation of a new man. In Genesis, we see God creating man from the dust, and here we see Jesus recreating a man born blind. Wow. So I wanted us to look a bit further on in the story today and to think a little bit about this man. We don't know his name, but just to think a bit about his story and his relationship with Jesus. Well, basically he gets given a really hard time by the religious leaders. He's taken before them, not once, but twice. He's taken into the synagogue. Let's set this into some context. The synagogue was not just the meeting, the church, the space where people went once a week. It was the community. It's like a community centre, if you like, where people lived out their life. So if you weren't able to be part of that anymore, you might as well move out of the area. It was that serious. Put this also into the context that at this time, people were being persecuted for following the way of Jesus, for following Jesus' teaching, and they were being put out of synagogues. So this man is risking something here. He risks being put out of his community. So he's taken before the religious leaders, and they ask him, who is this, what was going on, what's happened? And he basically says, well, I don't really know. I guess the guy must have been a prophet, because this is sort of what prophets did, and in their history, this is there are precedents for this. Prophets did do strange things like spitting in the mud. Secondly, the leaders call him again, and they call his parents, and they say, was he really born blind? And the parents say, well, yes, he was, but let him speak for himself, because the parents are also scared of being put out of the synagogue. So they kind of leave slightly, not most kindly, the man to his own devices. So they bring the man before them again, and they ask him again what was going on. And the man, who's getting bolder now, says, look, I know this. I was blind, but you know what, now I can see. And he's risking rejection and expulsion. And he says to them, why, that's very strange that you don't know where he comes from. He healed my eyes. And if this man were not from God, he wouldn't have done it. And then they do throw him out. And Jesus hears about this, and he finds the man, and he asks him, do you believe in the Son of Man? And the man says, well, who is he, sir? I want to believe in him. And Jesus says, you've seen him and he's speaking to you. And then the man says, yes, Lord, I believe. And he worships Jesus. So here we have the story of this man's, I would like to suggest, progressive revelation. And this is my point of talking to you about this today. It's about progressive revelation. Someone comes along and heals him. He's got really no idea who it was, maybe a prophet, probably from God, Son of Man. And he gradually understands who Jesus is. And it takes him a while to gradually understand who he is. And Jesus is really gentle with him as well. So he understands that this is a prophet, that this man must have been from God. And then when he has a direct encounter with Jesus again, he understands that this is the Son of Man, the Son of God, the light of the world, the Messiah, if you like. And he opens his heart to Jesus, and he believes in him, and he worships in him. So I guess the 2 points I wanted to just say were that sometimes coming to fully know and understand Christ is a gradual process. It doesn't happen like wham, bam. Maybe sometimes it does, but it can be a very gradual process. And also that this man had to demonstrate his openness. He had to be open and to receive from Jesus. He had to yield. He had to want Jesus. And the second point is that Jesus is always revealing more and more to us but gently and progressively. There's always more. If we think about John's Gospel as a whole and his gradual revelation of who he was with his disciples, he lived with those disciples for 3 years, and even at the end of 3 years, they were still getting their heads around who Jesus was. Jesus is really gentle and gracious and gives us time to get to know him. But also, revelation is progressive. It's never finished. There's always more to know, and there's always more to be revealed. And Jesus won't reveal to us what we can't manage or can't cope with. So coming to know and understand Jesus in the first place is a gradual process. But our ongoing relationship around the revelation of who he is and who he can be in our lives is also a gradual process. So be gentle with yourselves, but do seek progressive revelation. Thank you.